Put this on then. That's the whole fucking thing I've got. It's massive. It's like, it's literally like an iPad.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Irons United and our preview of the West Ham Southampton game. And I've got live from the stadium, Anton, and maybe Matt might be joining us as well. Good evening, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you, Stel. Hope you're all well. Matt's just on his way in just now.
Okay, mate. If you stop moving, I'll stop getting dizzy to try and hold that camera in one point, mate. Anton has just come all the way down from where have you come from? Scotland. After watching his favourite team Kilmarnock in action, and he's come down to support West Ham for tomorrow. Evening, Matt. How are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you doing?
Your hair's all right. Don't worry about that.
Oh, it's the windy as hell up here, mate.
Right. Are you guys linked up? Anton, you keep fidgeting and disappearing. He's gone. Matt, you're there. We're talking about West Ham versus Southampton. After the game against Liverpool on Monday night, we're back in action at the London Stadium. A must-win game, but I guess all of them are must-wins at the moment. How are you guys feeling? Any thoughts on what's going to happen tomorrow? Anton?
See before you carry on, can you drop us back? Drop our image back so you can see a bigger background.
I can, mate. No problem.
Right, then I'll jump on the other one.
There you go.
That's it. I might jump on the mat.
So,
I'll be honest, mate. I'm nervous because it's a must-win. It is a must-win.
Well, I absolutely agree. It definitely is a must-win. But do you think after Monday night's performance, we've got it in us to do that?
I do, but it's West Ham, so you never know. Let's be real.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Southampton. Who are the players that we've got to look out for at Southampton, mate?
Well, I was going to say Redmond, but I know I've seen that he's out. So he's
out injured, yeah.
He's out. I think, obviously, the main guy for them at the moment is Danny Ings.
But without Redmond's support, do you think Ings is going to do much tomorrow? What do you know about the team? Who else is going to be a danger for us?
They've got the winger Depreno, but I think again I think it's Depreno. I don't know. I've butchered his name. He's a brilliant winger, but I think he had a death in the family today, so they said he's touch and go to play.
Okay.
Shane Long's a workhorse. Will Prowse. brilliant set piece. He's one guy I'd love to have at West Ham, Ward-Prowse.
Well, yeah.
They've got options. Boufal, another winger.
I think probably for me though the biggest threat really from Southampton is going to be the forward line.
Well, this is what we're just saying. I mean, without Redmond, what support will Danny Ings get, and who will it be from?
But you know, when you look at Danny Ings' game, he's quite clever in my opinion at dropping back and he kind of takes little small steps, really fast small steps. He gathers from the back. He actually works from the back. In actual fact, he's the sort of striker that West Ham fans are desperate for. He works from the back and works forward rather than staying up top and looking for that opportunity, which is a Sebastian Haller player. But Danny Ings is the sort of guy that does track back and does the work for the team that the West Ham fans so desperately want. So that's where I think, I think Nathan Redmond will be a miss quite dramatically, but I also think that there will be a decent threat and they'll have enough there. What do you think?
Well,
yeah.
What formation do you think they're going to line up tomorrow? What's their traditional formation, Southampton?
I think, if I'm right, it's a 4-4-2.
Okay. Should we be matching them like for like? I mean, we'll get onto the West Ham team in a minute, but given that they do play a traditional 4-4-2, that's going to cause us problems. Should we be able to cope with that? Do you think playing away from home, a 4-4-2 is going to be a decent formation for them?
I think it leaves it as an open game if they turn up 4-4-2. I think it shows they're going to come and have a go. I hope we go four at the back, because whenever we play four at the back, well, even if we're not winning, we play better. Whenever we play five at the back, we lose. So I'm more worried about how we're going to turn up rather than how they're going to turn up.
Well, look, we'll come to West Ham in a minute. So you talked about Ings as being one of the danger players. You talked about their winger, whose name I'm not going to try and pronounce because yours is very good either.
I butchered it completely.
But they're on a run of form at the moment, Southampton. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, how many points were they behind us at the Christmas game?
Well, yeah, I think...
And they're now 10 points clear. They're 10 points in front of us now.
So I'm just trying to look up their stats at the moment, but their run of form is pretty... It's changed quite dramatically since Christmas. Like you've just said, they've moved up quite significantly, and we've been sort of pretty stagnant.
Well, let's be honest, the Leicester game definitely didn't help that. I mean, if anything, that's given them the big kick up the arse they needed. I think, what was it, 9-0?
Yeah.
Nearly was it the record? No, it wasn't the record score.
It was one off, wasn't it? It was 8-0.
Yeah, 8-0, yeah, sorry, it was one
off.
But
to be fair, I mean, at the time, they were calling for him to be sacked, and he's turned it around. So it shows you that maybe sacking isn't always the option to go. It
isn't always the option to go, but then they've got a manager that will change things.
Yeah.
And he spoke out and he said, things will get changed. There was an apology, which was one of the first things that you want, especially a fan base are desperate for, especially after that embarrassment. So they've done the apology, and he's obviously changed things for the club for the better. And are they not so much on a great run recently, though? Are they? I think
I'm just looking at their stats at the moment, mate. So bear with me 1 second. They beat Aston Villa 2-0 in their last game. They lost against Burnley 2-1. They lost against Spurs 3-2. Liverpool spanked them 4-0.
So a bit of inconsistency set back.
It's a bit of inconsistency, yeah. But what Matt has just said, they've actually gained some points. I mean, since that 9-0 spanking. And now they're sitting pretty comfortably in the table.
Which I don't know if that helps us.
Well, they're 12th position. They've got 34 points. And they're pretty, I mean, they're safe, aren't they? I mean, there's no chance of them bomb diving down to the bottom of the table. Although you always get one team, don't you, that kind of, thinks they're safe and all of a sudden they nosedive. But I don't think it's going to be them tomorrow. I can't see it somehow. So what are we expecting? I mean, we've seen the way we played against Man City. We've seen the way we played against Liverpool. What West Ham is going to turn up tomorrow, lads?
We've got a West Ham side or team selection and formation that's inconsistent. It's my favourite word this season. It's probably been my favourite word since since we've moved to the London Stadium. So right now, I'm not 100% sure what West Ham will turn up. There's going to be an enforced change. We know that. Souček's missing, and I think we're going to massively miss his presence, his legs in the middle of the park. It's been a bit of a breath of fresh air seeing a player, covering the ground that he does, intercepting play like he does. He is quality that's added to our squad, which is what we desperately need. The problem is, I don't know where Moyes' head is at. Matt, just before we came on, you were talking about a statement that he's made today regarding Jared Bowen.
Said that Bowen's not our saviour and we shouldn't be looking at him as such.
Oh my God.
So
I mean,
still, you kind of feel like these statements are coming out the day before a game, a couple of days before a game, and you're starting to feel like, is this his way of kind of letting the fans know that I'm going to?
He's trying not to put the pressure on Bowen. Is what I'm taking from it. Is that he's trying to not put the pressure on him. He doesn't want him to get weighed down.
Do you think that's the case, or do you think it's the case of he's telling us he's not starting him again tomorrow?
Well, consistency in what he says shows that he won't start him. The but to that is, I don't actually think the West Ham fans look at Bowen and think he's the saviour. I think West Ham fans are looking like, where I think the board and Moyes think we think that. I think what West Ham fans think is we've signed a striker, and he's an inside right or an inside right kind of player that can support our forward line, and that's the way we think. The problem I'm concerned about is that they're putting the pressure on him by saying the comments, and then we get an expectation. He does look decent from we've seen him for 16 minutes in a West Ham top.
25 million.
20, and he does look decent, to be fair, in the 16 minutes that I've saw.
And he almost scored a goal. He almost scored an equaliser against Liverpool, only for Alisson's head to get in the way, which was pretty near the end. So it sounds to me that we're being set up to accept that Bowen's not starting tomorrow. It sounds to me that I've got a massive fear of the lineup we're going to see tomorrow, and I don't think it's going to be as encouraging as we were hoping for. I could be wrong. I
could see it being the Liverpool team with Fornals starting.
I hope so, but I would rather see the Liverpool team with Fornals and Bowen starting, and either Snodgrass or Noble to drop.
Because if you consider, again, if you consider some of the stuff that Moyes has been saying, like you kind of feel like he's been saying for a while, we're saving Bowen for the Southampton game, we're saving our side, our
attacking players.
Yeah, attacking players for the Southampton game, and that, come 2:00 tomorrow, we'll know, as we know every single week, an hour before kickoff, what West Ham's going to turn up, and I just don't want that feeling of deflation again, and here's one for you that will concern me the most is the fullback position. That if Ngakia is even remotely considered to be dropped, I mean, it's that would be.
Yeah, because don't forget he did last time.
He did last time.
He played Liverpool game, and then the game after, Frederick was fit, and he went straight back in.
It was a complete and utter joke that a player who had a good performance the week before.
But I mean, he has had a lot of good press in the papers, hasn't he, since the game?
Yeah.
Well, so he had a lot of good press in the papers before. After the first time he appeared, and then he disappeared. Let's go back to Southampton, and we'll come back to West Ham in a minute. So Southampton, in 27 games, they've won 10 games. They've lost 13. They've scored 34, but they do concede quite a few. They conceded 48 with only 6 clean sheets. Now, surely for a side like ours, that should be encouraging. The fact that they do concede quite a few goals.
It is, but then we're also West Ham, who have got the least amount of points at home this season in the Premier League.
I think we conceded the most goals as well.
And conceded the most goals in the Premier League. Well, there's so many. There is positives we need to.
If you look on the form book, I think in the last 6 games they've only won one of them. We've won the other 5.
Yeah, on form. But then we're talking about different seasons, different teams. Are they a better squad than ours?
No.
On paper, no.
Yeah.
But I think I said recently in one of the videos we did, there's definitely players that I would take from them.
Oh yeah.
100%. Like, and the funny thing is, when they signed Danny Ings, I was like, nah, I don't see that as a good signing. I can eat my words. I hold my hand up. I'll eat my words. Like, imagine he was with us right now.
Thing is, I wouldn't say either team. I'd say it's actually a pretty balanced thing on paper. I wouldn't say that we've got an amazingly better team either. I think in different positions, different teams have got better players. Like I've always liked Bertrand. I'd take him at left back over what we've got any day.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, Danny Ings is a natural goal scorer. James Ward-Prowse. They've got pacey wingers.
Like the boy from Tottenham, they've got on loan. He's coming
Kyle
back.
Walker-Peters.
Yeah, he's back for the game tomorrow as well.
They've Vestergaard. I know he's had a bit of a dodgy season, but he looks like a quality centre back. But Gunn, the goalkeeper, they've got quality players, but inside we.
You can't help but think that Southampton will definitely look at this game and go,
"This could be our saving.
This could be our saving.
Yeah,
this could be the start of our save." You know.
Yeah, they are heavily reliant on Ings. Ings has scored 15 goals, and the next player after him is Ward-Prowse and Armstrong. Ward-Prowse on 4 and Armstrong on 3.
Yeah.
And their assists, you know, that's kind of spread out, but it's quite thin as well. Jack Stevens has assisted in 3, Che Adams in 2, Sofiane Boufal 2. So it looks to me that they don't, you know, if it isn't for Ings, then they'd be in a much worse position than they currently are.
Which I said at Christmas the same thing, because he was scoring goals then, and I said if he gets injured, he's out for the season, they struggle.
But then you look at Shane Long, whether he's not scored a huge amount of goals as what Danny Ings has, he's a hard-working centre forward. He has been in around the Premier League for a while. He's got an international presence. He can score goals. I'm adamant he's scored against us in the past. These are the sort of players, you know, West Ham have got a history with.
Shane Long will be quiet all season. He'll turn up against West Ham.
And he'll score against West Ham,
Yeah.
And so I think...
Yeah, I don't think Che Adams has scored in the league yet, so...
Yeah, I mean,
people love scoring the first goals against us as well.
Here's some interesting stats, lads. We've only scored a couple of goals less than them. We've conceded the same number of goals, and we've kept the same number of clean sheets. The irony.
They've got 10 more points.
And they've got 10 more points. Yeah. You know, and that's the big difference, isn't it? The fact that we've been conceding goals almost every game.
Don't forget they shipped 8 goals in one game.
Yeah, well, that's the massive thing. I mean, for us, you know, we're looking at we're reliant on the usual players, aren't we? Antonio, Anderson is now back. We're hoping to see Bowen. Hilaire is really off form, completely off form. Who's going to start for us tomorrow night? Tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Sorry.
Front to back.
Let's start from the back.
I think we all decide
after Fabian. Well, hang on. After Fabianski's 2 errors in the last game, is there any remote chance that you would drop him?
Absolutely not.
If you saw Noble's comments on the club website after the game, didn't you? When he said that Fabianski come into the dressing room and apologise, he said, "I'm really sorry." And Noble was like, "No, if anyone doesn't need to apologise for a mistake, it's you. You've won us so many points over the last 2 years that you're allowed a mistake."
And you see some comments online. You've seen comments online by people. I don't hear people are away with the fairies, to be honest, and they think like he deserves to be dropped and he's got 2 errors. And I read some comment. Someone had said somewhere saying he needs a confidence boosting game. He doesn't need a confidence boosting game. His confidence boost came straight after he made those 2 errors when he saved us in that game from conceding more goals.
He needs a tight defence in front of him. Is what he needs.
He's human. He's going to make errors. He just doesn't make them a lot. So
right, the big one, defence. Are we playing 4 or are we playing 5 tomorrow?
4.
It's got to be 4.
It's got to be 4.
He generally plays 4 at home as well. To be fair, at least he starts playing 4 at home.
Okay, it's got to be 4, but let's try and put our heads into our minds into Moyes' head. What's Moyes thinking?
I'm sure his thing is he always plays 4 at home and he plays 5 away. Generally speaking.
All right.
And that's what he did last time as well.
But his comments before the games are
scary.
They are, but they also, in particular for this game, are leading me to believe he is going to set up in an attacking.
Yeah, he knows. Like the thing is, right? He's had a pass in the last 2 games, which comments or not, like I think he still gave the wrong comments. Everyone knew before this game started, before the last 2 games, we weren't expected to get anything out of them. Yeah. Whereas, and he's been basically preaching as such that, you know, our big games start tomorrow. So he's got to go. He's got to go for it tomorrow. He can't sit back at home against one of the winnable games.
Okay, right back. Ngakia or Zabaleta?
It's got to be Ngakia.
I think most of the fan base must have to agree on that. It's got to be Ngakia. I think there's There's nothing worse for him.
Zabaleta 5 years ago would have been Zabaleta, but he just doesn't have the legs, does he?
Well, do you know what though? Funny enough, like when you've got a player though, like yes, okay, I get the Zabaleta point 5 years ago, but if you've got a player that's come in and played well, why drop him?
Yeah, exactly. The way he played anyway, regardless, he was one of the. He should have been dropped the first time.
Yeah,
but then Fredericks was fit. Fredericks ain't playing for another 6 weeks.
Totally agree.
It should be Ngaki's position to lose at the moment because he played his way in against Liverpool.
100%.
And basically, Fredericks has had an operation today, this week, and he could be out possibly for the rest of the season. Yeah. So why not give the boy an opportunity to make his mark?
Glenn Johnson written all over it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
came the same way, didn't he? He came in January and played at the back end of the season.
Yeah. Okay, centre 2 at the back.
I thought they'd done all right actually at Liverpool. I hold my hands up. I thought they both done all right. Nothing to blame for them.
Yeah.
So
to be fair, we've not been winning in recent games, but then they haven't been awful. They had that one shocker against Brighton.
Yeah.
With that's the second goal, but in fairness, they've been pretty solid.
The last 2 games in particular, they've
been the Man City and Liverpool, they've been good.
Yeah, they've got to stay.
Okay. Left back.
We've only got one left back. It's Creswell, isn't it?
Well, some would argue we haven't, but you know.
No, we've got a left back and we've got a left wing back. If we're playing 4-4-2, you've got to play the left.
We've got a left back and then we've got an awful footballer. So who would you?
I wasn't going to go that far. I was going to say we've got a left wing back. It's Creswell. If you're playing 4 at the back, it's Creswell.
It's got to be Creswell.
I agree. Yeah. Okay.
Get your comments in and let us know who you think.
Yeah, sorry, I'm no good at doing that. Get your comments in. There are comments there. We'll talk about. We'll put the comments up after we've finished our team lineup. Let us know what your team's going to be. Subscribe, and the only way to subscribe is by logging onto YouTube, putting your name in, then subscribe, and all that stuff. And does all that shit. I don't, but anyway. Right in the middle of the park. Are we going to play a 4-4-2? Are we going to play a 4-3-3? Or are we going to play a 4-5-1?
Well, I just met Souček about 2 minutes ago.
And what did he tell you, mate? Hang on a minute.
He was giving me some inside info. And I'm not even remotely joking. I did literally just meet him. But anyway.
Hang on. I'm going to prove that you did.
We did see him, to be fair. I didn't even notice him. We were just walking up to the stadium. And he was just in his tracksuit, just walking along. And I was like, that's Souček.
Yeah.
That's Anton and that's Souček. And Souček turned around and went, "Why don't you get away from me, you mad Scottish bastard?" And Anton went, "All I want."
To be fair, he was actually proper polite about it.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah.
He wasn't like didn't hide away or didn't seem upset about it or anything.
I think our biggest miss actually is going to be him.
Yeah, I think it will.
I totally agree.
I thought the 45 minutes against Liverpool as well was immense.
He was not even an exaggeration.
Like, do you think
he was
let's go back to Liverpool? If he'd stayed on, would we have won?
I don't know.
Between Souček and the Anderson substitution, it would have been. We possibly could have rode that victory out or drew.
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah. I mean, we can never know, but I think those 2 things were literally that's what it came down to. The Anderson substitution, bringing Hilaire on, and the Souček injury is what finished us in that game against Liverpool.
Okay, so let's go back to what are we saying in the middle? Are we saying 4 in the middle tomorrow?
It's going to be that weird 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1.
Okay, so pick your midfielders.
So for me,
based upon what Moyes is going to do,
who you want and who you think Moyes will pick.
So midfield 2, I want Rice and Snodgrass.
I want Rice and Snodgrass.
But it will be Rice and Noble.
And I think it will be Rice and Noble as well.
Okay.
And the reason for the Snodgrass, for me personally, is the fact he's got legs. Yeah. And I actually think, do you know what's funny? Noble, in the last few seasons, has never really gone consistently without taking a break. And recently, when we had a run of games, he never took the break.
No.
He was always in the team.
Who's our second highest goal scorer this season?
Is it Noble?
Snodgrass? It's Snodgrass.
Oh, Snodgrass, yeah, he's got 5
goals.
5 goals, yeah.
And
5 assists.
See, for me,
who's got the most assists this season?
Snodgrass.
5 assists, yeah. I think by that, I'm sorry, mate.
I think he'd be suited to that role. He gets stuck in. He covers quite a lot of ground. And
the thing is, as well, you could put Snoddy on, let him run his tank for 70 minutes, and then bring Noble on to see out the last 20
minutes.
Well,
I think because of that, the goals and the assists, I think he's going to start on the right hand side,
on the wing.
Yeah. And that's why Bowen won't play.
See, that's why I was trying to move.
Start tomorrow.
That's why I wanted to move me personally, put Snodgrass in the middle because it makes way for Bowen on the wing. But you're right,
absolutely agree. But I think
it won't. It'll be Rice and Noble.
It'll be Rice and Noble and Snodgrass on the right. Out on the left, I don't even want to say his name.
It'd be Anderson.
I really don't. Thank God for that. Anton?
Yeah, I agree with you. It has to be Anderson.
He's still our most creative player.
And he's got 4 assists and he's been out for a number of games.
Yeah.
It annoys me that he's out in the left though, because I just don't want him to be more central. But
so
Moyes.
I would have him on. I wouldn't have him on the left, but if we're talking this team, I think he'll be on the left.
Yeah.
I think Fornals will play number 10.
Before we go there, is there any truth to the rumour that it's possible that Masuaku would have started if he wasn't ill, and it would have been instead of Anderson against
Would it surprise
Liverpool?
you?
Would it surprise you? No, it wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Therefore, I asked the question again: are you guaranteed that we're going to see Anderson starting out on the left on?
Because it's the home game. It's the home game we have to attack.
All right.
The away games. I'll put it this way though. I don't know when the next away game is, but Anderson could score a hat trick tomorrow, and in the away game he'd be dropped for Masuaku.
And I would probably go and stab Moyes in the eye if he did that. But I know that would be. But
we're not condoning any form of violence. By the way, we don't condone any violence.
No, we don't, except when it comes to Masuaku. But there you go. Right.
Listen, when it comes to Anderson, though, we've discussed it all week. The fan base is so split on his performance at Liverpool, but I
thought he had a good game.
I'm borderline fed up of trying to justify his game.
Did he look match fit? No, but he's been injured since he hasn't played since New Year's Day.
But he gave us an outlet, and Liverpool didn't know how to handle him.
Like, I'm not being funny. I haven't seen many players bully Alexander-Arnold like he did. No, like every time he ran Alexander-Arnold, he actually was like, I'm not saying he bullied him, but he was actually worried, and Anderson was gliding past him.
But in return, I got, not just from guys in Einstein, but just a scene online was he was dispossessed of the ball. Well, he's a forward-thinking player. He's a trickster, and those players are expected with quite a few times throughout that game to try things and will probably lose the ball.
They're not do it every time, are they? He's not Lionel Messi.
Okay. Yeah. Front two.
See, as I said, I think it'll be Fornals off of Antonio. Yeah.
That's
what I think he will play.
The only thing that would maybe stop that is the fact that Moyes has got history from not playing Fornals, and only for the injury to Soucek would Fornals have come off the bench.
No, probably not. Not at least at that point.
So yes, he did play well.
But he's also got a history of playing 4-4-2 at home. So it wouldn't surprise me if you see Antonio and Haller up front tomorrow.
Or honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if you do see Bowen and Antonio.
Well, I think when you talk about all these players, lads, I think we all agree that Noble, not because he's done anything wrong lately, but Noble needs a rest. But we know he's not going to get that rest now that Soucek
not for another 3 weeks.
Yeah, and so so that's a given. Rice and Noble are going to start, and then we know Snodgrass is going to start because of his delivery, his assists, and the goals he's scored. So he's pretty much nailed on. We're hoping that it's going to be Anderson. But then when you look at the front two, you could take your pick, can't you?
Well, you've now got options, which
Haller,
is good.
Antonio,
nice
Fornals. But of those 4 players there, Bowen, Haller, Antonio, and Fornals, if you really had a choice of which of the first 2, who would you go for? Or the ones that you've already said,
but if we've got Bowen there, who's new, we've not seen much of him. He looks okay from what we saw of him. But if we think back to the Bournemouth game at home, when Moyes first came in charge, and we had Antonio supporting Haller up top, like if we can get that relationship up and running, that's a nice looking relationship. If we've got Snoddy delivering those balls into the box for Haller with a supported Antonio, like I wouldn't be so negative against that. I know Haller's dropped in confidence a lot, but then to be fair, who wouldn't when you're told to do the job he's told to do with no support?
So
for me, I wouldn't be annoyed in any way whatsoever if it was Haller and Antonio.
No, I would.
But I wouldn't be annoyed if it was Antonio and Bowen, as long as we got to see, like Matt said, we have options.
All right.
I mean, you even have the option to put Antonio on the wing and put Anderson in behind Haller.
You could.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a scenario. We're winning 3-1. We've got 20 minutes to go. Does Moyes make a tactical decision to go defensive for the last 20 minutes?
He does.
Yeah.
Which is mental because we can't defend. I've got no problem in with 7 minutes to go taking off a centre forward and putting on a centre back.
I don't even know if I am actually right now. I think it has to be less time than that because I don't think.
Like,
I don't
20 minutes to go.
Will he make? All right, you know where I'm leading on this.
Will he put with Masuaku with 20 minutes to go?
3-1 against Brighton. 20 minutes to go. We conceded 2 goals.
Yeah.
Will David Moyes realise his massive mistake and not do the same, or will he go to
Can I just make that change? Can I just change the word you use? Massive mistakes. Massive mistakes. Will he go to type and do the same, or will he have learned his lesson?
He will. But the thing for me is that if you go back and watch that game again, for 10 minutes when he come on the pitch, Masuaku didn't know where he was playing, and neither did Creswell.
And having said that, from where I was standing in the stadium, both Moyes and then Antonio went up to Masuaku on the byline and told him what he's meant to be doing.
Yeah, but I think they already scored by that point.
He didn't listen because they scored their third goal by that point. Yeah. All right, I'm not going to bash Masuaku. Everyone knows what I think of him.
We've done our team, so when you're watching, please put your teams in the comments. I'll do what Stel should be doing.
Yeah.
And also get your predictions in as well. Let us go before
we're going over to the comments. There may be team selections there. So let's see who's online. Good evening, Richard. Yes, we're here, mate. I hope you're still watching. Hammerwell, evening all. Hopefully it's going to be a good weekend. Yes.
Oh, I really hope so.
Evening, boys. Happy hiker. Hello, mate. And our regular viewer. Good evening, Neil.
How you doing,
4:32 a.m., mate. Do you ever sleep?
Mate, do you sleep?
He doesn't.
Do you sleep, mate? Jesus. I can get up at 4:32 in the morning. I'll tell you that much.
Well, he's only waking up to watch us. We know that, you know.
Neil, before you go, actually for Neil, we did a Facebook Live video the other night, and Neil would put a comment up saying, "What was the point of doing that? Not engaging with us on YouTube? We just tried something a bit different, Neil. We apologise."
Don't worry, Neil. I told him the same thing, but he won't listen. He's a stubborn
It was Stel's idea.
It wasn't my idea. Looks like Matt and Anton are sharing earpiece.
That's my bad because I dropped mine and trod on them.
Duncan, for goodness sake. No, mate, we are not expecting Sanchez to start. Absolutely. No.
Start driving the bus, yeah.
Can you see the comments on your screen?
Yeah.
Oh, you can. Good. Gary, are they down the pub already? Probably because they never talk.
We should have been, but
they never talk any sense. They're probably half cut already. Morning. There you go. Welsh Hammer. Morning, Neil. Do you ever sleep? Let's cut across some of these. Let's have a look. Hammerwell. I wonder what player Southampton are going to be looking out for. Interesting.
Well, it's going to be hard because if we don't know, how are they going to know? That is the thing.
Yeah.
Here I'm not going to go on that one because it's talking about the Colombian tortoise. And here we go. Happy hiker. Moyes is going to save Ngakia for the next time we play Liverpool.
What's that in 3 years' time?
That's after we get relegated and come back up in about 5 years' time. Here we go. Look at this one. Hammerwell. He said exactly the same thing. Next time we see Ngakia play, we'll be in a Liverpool kit.
It's a valid point. You probably will. It'll be a good time.
It'll probably be a Chelsea kit again, won't it?
To be fair, yeah. It'll be like a Glenn Johnson again, wouldn't
it? Yeah.
Well, Hammer, when we score tomorrow, and I do believe we will, are the players going to celebrate? Why wouldn't they, mate? I think...
no, because they're going to wait for VAR to decide whether it's a goal or not.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Good evening, Jazz. How are you? Going to see you at the Supporters Club. Oh, yeah. By the way, come to the Supporters Club tomorrow. It's right by that thing.
Actually, let's do it.
It's actually over there.
I'll show you.
I'll come off. We'll just show you exactly where we are right now doing this live stream. So there's a stadium. And then if we flip around here,
that's the slide. Yeah, the orbit. That's the one.
Or whatever it's called. And then beside it, just over there, is the Supporters Club.
Yeah, you can't see it, but it's right next to it. So it really is right next to it. So come down to the Supporters Club tomorrow. You can become a member. I can't remember how much it is, but probably half price now, given that it's near the end of the season. Or you can pay £2 to get in as a guest. And just ask for any of us, and we'll be happy to sign you in. Jazz, good evening. So we'll see you there tomorrow, mate. Don't want to see Sanchez or Masuaku anywhere near the team. Totally agree. Gristis, need 3 points. We sure do.
Could do with more tomorrow, but
tell us what you think. If we don't get 3 points tomorrow, are we down? I'll be interested to hear your views on that. Evening, Jazz. Hope you. Well, yeah. Don't talk amongst yourselves, lads. Come on.
Well, that's a good question, though. That is a good question. Like, if we lose tomorrow,
mentally, possibly, yeah.
We're not. I think we talked about this the other night. Like, we're not mathematically down, nowhere near it, and we could still make a big difference. But like what Matt said, mentally, it's not.
The only thing we've got.
How many games since Moyes has been in charge? We've won one game since he's been in charge. How many games?
His record's nearly as bad now as when they sacked
Avram Grant.
No, I was going to say when they sacked Pellegrini.
His record is, yeah.
I think he's got to win the next 4 games to not have a worse record than Avram Grant, by the way.
Yeah. Give us your views. You know, if we don't win tomorrow, and I'm talking about drawing or losing, will we go down? So tell us what you think.
It's hard,
Gary,
though,
go on, mate. Go on.
because everyone else is still losing. Don't forget,
and that's
we just played Man City and Liverpool, and we're still in touch because
we are.
I remember we've done that preview video to Man City game. We were like, we could be 6 points adrift at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, I agree. And we've been very lucky.
We got a pass.
We've been very lucky. Gary, I hope Nolan has talked him into a 4 at the back. We don't want to see 5. Totally agree.
I hope so, mate. Yeah.
Gaz, I would leave Noble out as well. 4-4-2 with Fornals and Rice in the middle, Anderson and Bowen on the wings, Haller and Tony up front. It's very attack-minded.
I don't think that's. I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with that, but I just don't. I don't think that's going to happen.
I'll be honest. I don't like that midfield too. I like Fornals.
Who was it?
Rice and Fornals.
Yeah. Fornals and Rice.
That's a bit exposed.
Ben Davis, good evening, mate. Ward-Prowse should be getting called up.
He should have been called up years ago.
He is a quality player. He's one of the.
He should have been up a long time. You got people like who's got Tottenham, Winks, and then there's a few England midfielders, not just Winks, to be fair, that aren't even doing it. Like you could even argue maybe he should be called up instead of Rice because at least he's more attacking. You know, Barkley's not in great form. There's plenty of opportunities that they should have called him up, and
he should have had a go.
He should have one by now. Yeah.
Well, Neil's
team: Fabianski and Gakia, Diop, Bonner, Creswell, Snodgrass, Rice, Fornals, Anderson, Bowen, and good. I like that. I like that lineup.
Yeah, so I'd take that, but I'd swap the positions of Fornals and Snodgrass.
Yeah, but I think maybe he is probably putting Snodgrass and Rice together. Would you not think? No.
I don't know. I was trying to read it. Is that like?
Anderson,
is that going like wing to wing? That's what I'm trying to work out.
It could either be Snodgrass or Fornals in the middle there, couldn't it? But
I'd take Snoggy because I think it'd be more. I don't know. It'd sound more compact to me.
Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Either way, I would take that. See if I saw that side tomorrow, I wouldn't be.
I'd be happy. Yeah. Gary, I wanted to rest some of the older players, keep them on the bench. Well, we're talking about Noble, aren't we, Gary?
Mate, Gary, I wish we could do that with this channel and we could rest still.
If it weren't for me, this channel would be dead. There you go. Good evening, Dan. Dan, don't forget, as usual, Dan will be there as well, giving me double rums. I don't drink, you see.
Stell's round tomorrow, isn't it?
No, mate, it's your round.
Puts his hand in his pocket. He's tight.
It's your round, you tight Scottish git. You know.
To be fair, I mean that's if Stell actually gets there before the game kicks off.
That's true.
What time are we beating Stell? 11.
I'll be there at 11. Yeah. So there you go.
If we tell Stell 11 o'clock, he'll be there by 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Exactly.
If we tell him 1 o'clock,
there you go. You know me well.
Actually, we told Stell to come here now, and he's at home, so
he's still on the way.
Yeah, well, some of us have got work to do, mate. Instead of bunking off and coming to London for the day. Gary, if he plays Masuaku and Sanchez, we go 1-0 down, there'll be riots. There will be riots, and I'll be the one to lead it. There
won't be riots when we go 1-0 down. There'll be fucking riots when the team sheet comes out. If them two
exactly. Good evening, Welsh. If Boys plays 5 at the back and the unthinkable happens and we lose, how will the crowd react? That's a really good point, mate. Because
I think it's got the potential. I really do, and I'm not inciting it. I don't want it to happen, but I do think there's going to be people there that will be egged on. And
I think if they did and they go 1 down, people would be like, "Well, that's it, we're done. It's over."
Yeah, I agree. Here's an interesting one.
Even though we're still in touch, how many more defeats can we take right now?
We can't take any more. Tomorrow is a vital game, an absolutely vital game. We've got to win tomorrow.
This game is as big as the last time we played Southampton with Moyes.
Yeah. He's got to show his hand, and he's got to go all out and just do it. He's got to let the team off the leash and just tell them to go for it. Because if he holds back in any way throughout any part of those 90 minutes, and we don't get the result we need, we
know we can't defend, so you can't sit back.
Exactly. Here's an interesting one. Ben Davis, Lanzini may start. What do you think about that, guys?
Can I be honest though? It wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think he would.
I don't think he will. But it wouldn't surprise me because Moyes likes him.
I think Moyes has shown his hand, though, on that game on the other night.
Or by bringing Fornals
when
on.
he brought Fornals on, he didn't bring Lanzini on. Because I'm not saying that was an opportunity, but that was a position you would want Lanzini in, you know. You've got two guys sitting behind him so he can go and do his attacking stuff and not worry about defending. And the fact that he brought Fornals on instead.
The but is the inconsistent team selections that Moyes is making. So it doesn't categorically rule that out. And if Lanzini is fit and playing well, we want a Lanzini fit playing well on our side. You know,
I think Fornals, like we were saying about Ngakia, I think Fornals, the way he played against Liverpool, earned the right to be in the team again.
Yeah, I've just seen that comment there. I didn't know Yarmolenko was actually even playing. They played a game behind closed doors yesterday against Spurs.
Interesting. So
Sanchez and Yarmolenko both played.
Could we see him on the bench? He might be, I think the one exciting thing at the moment is we've got an awful lot of options up front. We don't have that many at the back.
Don't play them.
But
Well,
the thing is, though, I think with a fit Yarmolenko gives us another really nice option.
Yeah, especially now that we've got Ngakia on the right, because then you've got that. Like at the start of the season, when you had Yarmolenko and Fredericks, all right, he's not as quick, Yarmolenko, but he gives you options to cut inside, and you've got the fullback going past him.
Yeah.
But then when Fredericks got injured, and you had Zabaleta in, the two of them don't work because you just haven't got the pace there.
Yeah,
agreed. Cyber leader, but Joe Powell, he's gone, hasn't he?
Then we sold him, didn't we?
Yeah,
we sold him. I thought we had.
Was it Burton Albion?
Burton Albion, yeah. Jazz is back again. Can't keep away, Jazz. I just got a feeling Fornals can do it for 90 minutes, but it is a good impact sub. Oh, I got a feeling he can't do it for 90 minutes, but a good impact sub. But I hope I'm wrong. Him and Lanzini just don't have the physical presence. Well, I don't think we look for players like that for physical presence, do we?
But I would argue that he has it more than Lanzini.
I would argue that Fornals was showing signs of having it.
Christmas period.
But then was dropped.
Christmas period.
And
he was our most informed player. Was it
for no reason at all? Yeah.
And he dropped him.
ORC, good evening, mate. Noble needs to sit this one out. I think we all kind of agree with that, but I just don't think that's going to happen.
It's not going to happen, no.
Yeah. Cyber, Fabianski, Jeremy.
Ngakia. That's his first name.
Fabianski, Jeremy, Diop, Creswell, Rice, Noble, Lanzini, front three, Anderson, Allaire, Antonio.
You know what? I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
4-3-3. Yeah. If he put it out tomorrow, I wouldn't mind it.
But would you
Rice back in? He dropped Rice into defence. Yeah.
No, that's
He has, isn't it? Yeah, he has.
No, he's got a 4.
Oh, he's got 3-5.
Yeah.
He's missed. I think he missed a player.
Let's have a look. Let's go back.
He missed a defender. I think he missed Ogbonna out.
Ngakia, Diop, Creswell.
That's playing with 10 men.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Might be better playing with 10.
Maybe.
Guess we'll see tomorrow. There you go. And I can't remember what that comment was for, so my apologies. Ben Davis, Snodgrass and Ogbonna have been the best two defend players, I believe so.
This season, yeah.
Ogbonna, hammer of the year, but there's only one Scot who doesn't agree with that. Isn't that right, Anton?
I don't think we can award a defender in this year of hammer of the year, unfortunately. The only player.
Who are we going to award it to?
Fabianski is the only one that would deserve it in that back line.
I think at the moment it probably would be Snodgrass
or Snoddy. Yeah.
Or Snoddy. Yeah. Richard, clueless Moyes will play Zabaleta in his usual back five in a mid of 3, Snodgrass, Rice, Noble, and as a number 10, Lanzini and Antonio. That really is an awful team.
Oh.
That really is an awful team. And I hope, Richard, you are wrong. I really do.
That is like, do you even want to go and watch the game?
No, you wouldn't. Hammerwell, not being this.
I think they're having a private chat.
They're having a private chat, and I don't know what the. I don't know what private chat you're having.
Should we get your predictions in? And then
we're going to get to that because
comments. Yeah.
I'm down to almost the final few comments. So start giving me your predictions, and then we'll close the show. So there are people that think Anderson is decent, and there are people that are wrong. I think he's decent. Dan.
I think if he's in any other team, his stats would be through the fucking roof.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right, we're coming to the end of the comments. So leave your predictions for the score tomorrow. Matt, score tomorrow.
3-1.
To what? To who?
To West Ham.
Anton.
Oh, I feel like you've potentially stole it, but let's go a little bit more drama. Let's add a bit more drama into the equation. 4-2 West Ham. 4-2 West Ham. I just don't see West Ham not conceding.
That's why I went 3-1.
It would be nice for us not to.
It'd be nice for a nice 2-0, but it ain't gonna happen.
But it won't. It probably won't.
We don't do
happen.
easy.
So I think we're going to have to try and outscore them. And,
Okay.
with an attacking, depending on formation, depending on team selection, with an attacking West Ham side that will concede but will score 4, so 4-2.
4-2. Stephen has said 2-1. I'll get to mine in a minute.
Yeah,
Hang on.
don't you get away with that one?
Neil, West Ham 3-1.
3-1.
Gary's an interesting one. I want a 3-0 win, but I worry we'll lose 2-0. Paul McCarthy, Southampton 2-1. Ben Davis, well, there you go. Ben Davis, 2-1 Antonio and Diop. Well, we can't expect Diop to score every game, but I'll take it. I don't care who bloody well scores.
He's got 3 goals this season, hasn't
he? He has, yeah. Mick, good evening, Mick. 3-2 win. Southampton will score. Well, with a 3-2 win,
Will we see you at the Supporters Club tomorrow, Mick? Let us know.
Yeah, come down supporters tomorrow, Mick. Dan, 3-1, come on you irons. Jay Yaz, 3-2 to West Ham. We're all predicting a win apart from one. Hammer Mulder.
You can't go with the mentality of a loss.
No, 3-0. 3-0? Really? Is that a question or 3-0 really? Or a statement?
Yeah, I don't know.
What else we got? We've got Welsh Hammer 2-1 win. Everyone's predicting a win. Hammerwell 3-2. Rice is due a goal. Well, like I said, I don't give a damn who scores so long as we win.
As long as they do.
I'll take 3 more deflected snoddy goals. I don't really care, to be honest.
I don't care how they go.
Still, I just want to hear your prediction.
It's going to be
3-2
to West Ham.
Because 3-2.
I think we've got another mistake in us, unfortunately. Yeah. And I think we'll just win it, but so long as we just win it.
Can I ask a question then? Is a draw suffice?
No, not enough. I think for me, if we don't win tomorrow, that is it for us.
I just think comment off still.
A draw does take us out of the bottom 3.
Doesn't matter, mate. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. For me, I think personally, if we don't win tomorrow, the feeling amongst the team,
the mentality will be gone.
The mentality will be gone. Moyes has more or less implied that it's our home games that matter. And if we go out tomorrow and we don't get a win, I think that'll be game over for us, unfortunately. I don't want to wish it. I don't wish it. Absolutely
time for the great escape.
Well, I think the great escape starts tomorrow. And if we don't get 3 points tomorrow,
with that running, that's the problem.
Yeah. All right, lads. Let's call it the end of the show. We're 47 minutes in. We've got plenty of viewers, plenty of comments coming in. We can't keep up. I can't do. Can only do one thing at a time. So.
We know that.
We know that still.
Right.
You're not like us.
Get to the Supporters Club tomorrow. It opens at 11:30. Anton is getting there for 11, so he'll be waiting outside for half an hour in the freezing cold. And get your comments in, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Anton does all that rubbish because he's a double glazing salesman and I'm not. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Any last comments, lads?
Come on, you Irons!
Come on, you Irons. If you hear a Scot, don't worry about him. He's only out allowed for the night. He'll be back in Scotland tomorrow night. And we'll see you all soon.